Jess, it's a pleasure to meet you and thank you for joining us. This Behind the Visor with Better is a chance to get to know the individuals behind those within the RAF and the Red Arrows. I'd love to know, to start with, what advice would you give to your younger self about looking after your mental health?
If you're in a good headspace, you are there to be able to help other people, and that's not a selfish thing. You can't help anyone else if you're not in the right place first, so don't worry what other people think.
It's true, and I think the phrase I always liken it to is, in an aircraft, you've got to put your life jacket on first before you help others to ensure that you are in that right headspace.
I love that analogy. I've not heard that before, but
it's fitting to
yeah,
be
absolutely.
here. We're here, in partnership with the Red Arrows to raise awareness around mental health. So I'd love to know from you, what keeps you grounded and what do you do to look after your mental health?
The first thing I would advise for anybody is a bit of self-care. Talk to yourself. You are good enough. You are worthy of being who you are. Or depending where we are, literally just go outside and listen to nature and just connect.
Obviously you have a high pressure, intense job. The self-care, I think, is the first thing to go sometimes. How do you deal with the pressures that come with being part of the RAF and the Red Arrows?
Be aware of how far you can push yourselves and be able to put your hand up amongst your team and say, look, I'm struggling, can we have a chat? Here at RAF there is a welfare facility. If you're struggling with a particular task, you're a bit stressed with it, you can't figure out how these bolts are supposed to get in said hole, then you need to go and have a 5-minute reset. You can take yourself into the welfare room, have a little sit down, a little breathe, a little think about it, cup of tea maybe, get back out and finish the task.
And how do you support each other, I guess, both on and off the airfield?
We become a big family on RAF. If I had an emotional problem, I would quite happily come and talk to anybody on this team, and I would let everybody on this team know that my door's open if they want to come and have a chat away from the pointy end of the spear, so to speak. So being that family, it allows you to talk to one another.
Nice. I think it's hard to know where to go sometimes, and talking is the undercurrent that everyone says is so important, and it is, because when you do have someone to talk to, whatever the problem may be, big or small, it does give you that relief. It does realise that what you're going through, you're not alone in, and there's that support there. So it's amazing to hear that that exists within the family, within the RAF. And then finally, I guess I'd love to understand, why is raising awareness important to you?
I think if you're aware of something, you can deal with it earlier. If you're not aware or you can't see those signs in other people, things can get worse, things can get bottled up. If you are aware of the situation, on how people are grounded, how people do ground themselves, of how to deal with situations, you can help them before it becomes a bigger problem.
Yeah, it's true, and there's been a definite increase in the conversation and awareness, and that's why we're doing what we're doing today, to open up that conversation, because the more we can hear about it from different people of all walks of life, you realise either these issues do exist, but there are solutions out there, or there are people to listen, because as you say, it's hard to understand it unless you've either experienced it or you're aware of it. So thank you, I really appreciate the time, and it's so nice to have you involved.
Yeah, no worries, thank you for having me.
Pleasure.